PanicInspiration.com.
It's that time of the year again to start watching holiday movies. And if you're like me, the usual suspects sneak in. It's a Wonderful Life, Scrooged, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. There's some timeless classics out there. In my opinion, one of them is White Christmas. This is a special little movie. It's not one I grew up with. I didn't see it for the first time until about 10 years ago. And I fell in love with it instantly. I watched it twice that holiday season. It was on Netflix. I believe it still is. And I saw it on there and I was like, I've never seen that before, but White Christmas, yeah, it's a Christmas movie. I'll watch it. Instantly fell in love with it. Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye play a couple of World War II veterans who become entertainers, very famous men. They have a hit show, and they've not forgotten their roots. They've not forgotten where they came from and what they went through during the war. And they end up in this little lodge that just so happens to be run by their commanding officer from when they were in the war. And he's fallen on hard times a bit. He's proud, won't admit it, but the housekeeper and the guy's granddaughter fill them in. Nobody's coming, nobody's staying at the lodge, we haven't gotten any snow. He wants to rejoin the armed forces, and he gets a letter that very politely says, "You're too old." And so here's this general who commanded armies, and now he's feeling like he's just a washed up old man. And that doesn't sit right with Danny and Bing. They decide that they're going to bring their show to the inn, and they're going to stir up business for this man who they respect so much. And along the way, they've collected a couple of love interests. Rosemary Clooney being Bing's. And, there's a great little romance there. Bing might be a little bit too old for her, but, that was Hollywood back then. And they're also entertainers. They're a sister act, and they become part of the show. And really, it's a movie about good people doing a nice thing for somebody. They decide that they're going to bring all of the guys who were in their regiment. They're going to bring them all back. They're going to bring them there. They're going to surprise this guy, and they're going to. It's not exploitative. They're not making any money off of this. They just want this man who they respected, who they believe led them through their darkest hour. They want to give him something back. How can you not love a movie like this? Well, there's one reason, maybe not two. Although I've always found myself conflicted by this. There's some great musical numbers in the movie. Obviously, White Christmas being the final song at the end. But so many other great musical numbers and dance numbers. It's a visual treat. But there's one song. They show White Christmas at this movie theater near me called The Heights. They show it every Christmas. It's great. It's a great show. It's a great old theater. They have somebody who sings Christmas carols beforehand. It's wonderful. And I asked my girlfriend, I said, I've been to it twice. Would you like to go with me? And my girlfriend said, is that the movie with that really racist song? I instantly knew which song she was talking about. There is a song in it that the whole thing is about missing the days of the minstrel show. If you think that sounds cringy, you're right, but not as right as you might think you are, because nobody is in blackface during this. It's never mentioned in the song. So much so that I was very confused by it. I know what a minstrel show is, but every time I watch it, I'm like, I don't, it sounds like they're talking about just vaudeville. They're telling corny jokes, and then there's a big dance number, and I'm watching it and I'm thinking, is there another kind of minstrel show that I don't know about? Because I thought the whole point of it was people in blackface. Nobody appears in blackface in the movie. It's not like they were shy about blackface at that time. This was like 1954. It was maybe starting to become unacceptable at that point, maybe. This is sort of a loose remake of another movie called Holiday Inn that also had Bing Crosby in it, and he did blackface in that one. And there's lots of examples. There's Yankee Doodle Dandy has a blackface scene, and obviously Jazz Singer. There's one, I don't remember, I've never seen the movie, but I've seen the clip, a movie with Judy Garland where it's just horrifying. It is, my rule has always been like, if they didn't know it was wrong at the time, I can kind of let it go. I feel the moment. I go, but it doesn't ruin the movie for me because there's no malice behind it. You know what I mean? Hollywood's always been a liberal place, and people back in 1954 thought it was just as liberal as they do in 2021. But they still did shit like that. White Christmas, you could, if you're taken out by that one moment, if that one moment sort of ruins the whole thing for you, you're missing out on a movie that is essentially about kindness and people who are trying to do the right thing, and how difficult that can be sometimes, but how it pays off in the end. It's a wonderful message to have at the holiday season. White Christmas is 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love this movie. I love to go see it in the theater come Christmas time. If you've never watched it as a Christmas movie, throw it in there with It's a Wonderful Life and Miracle on 34th Street and whatever else you watch as far as the classic Christmas movies, because this absolutely belongs up there.
Their worlds. Sort of gave myself the challenge of, okay,